Pardon the interruption, but I'm Pablo Torre, proudly representing one half of today's B team.
I'm Frank Isola. I think we're the A team. The A stands for available. Your best ability is availability. Come on,
That's
where
right.
else would you rather be on July 3rd? On a nice 100-degree day.
It's the hottest Washington, D.C. has ever been, is what I'm being told, Frank.
Yeah.
You enjoying that?
It feels like Vegas on July 3rd. That's what it feels like, walking down the streets today. Not comfortable, not comfortable. Welcome to PTI, everyone. Mike and Tony are our free soloing El Capitan. So joining me is the host of the Pulitzer Prize-winning podcast, Pablo Torre Finds Out, Mr. Pablo Torre. Just to be clear, I wasn't in the running. I do a radio show. It's a full-time job, so I wasn't in the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Submissions
let's
in
start with the
mail.
potential of LeBron James joining the Sixers. Shams reports that Philly is trying to pitch the free agent on joining Jaylen Brown, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and of course VJ Edgecombe for the upcoming season. The other known suitors for LeBron's services are the Warriors, the Cavs, and the Heat. So Pablo, what would be the pros and cons for LeBron joining the Sixers?
So, Frank, I was examining the whiteboard that Rich Paul made for Max Kellerman on their podcast together as they were explaining all of the possibilities here. And I want to make it even simpler than that because, of course, as that podcast indicates, as LeBron's whole life indicates, he's more acutely aware of the story of LeBron as much as he is anything else. And so the question is, what's the greatest, not season, but career finale? And it's the Sixers.
Really?
Who have not won a title since 1983. I mean, look, the Warriors got one very recently. The Heat got one with LeBron. The Cavs got one with LeBron. We've seen that movie before. The Sixers, what he could do for Philadelphia, a city which, you know, as we both know, does not warm easily to anyone. If LeBron wins the hearts of Philly, which does not quite need him in the way that they used to because they got Jaylen Brown, because they have depth on that roster suddenly, I think that is an incredible finale to a career that, at this point, is predictable only in the sense that he cares about the finale.
Yeah. Now, Rich Paul on that podcast, which did not win the Pulitzer, he also did point out if the Knicks hadn't won, that would be the place for him to go. Because then it would have been, look what I did. I ended the 54-year championship drought.
Very good
So he's
story.
not going there. You do bring up a good point about the Sixers, because right now I do think the Knicks, when you look at the Eastern Conference, I still think right now they're the favorites. Their starting five is terrific. Now they're battle-tested. They've gone through it. But I think LeBron looks at the Sixers and thinks, I can trust Tyrese Maxey, who, by the way, clutch client, very close with Rich Paul, VJ Edgecombe, up-and-coming guy, Jaylen Brown, look at his resume. The one guy, let's be fair, that he probably doesn't trust is Joel Embiid, because you don't know how many games he'll be available for, and you don't know what will happen to him come playoff time. But we also know this about LeBron, and you're talking about good stories. This guy's entire career has been mapped out. LeBron, for me, I think he already knows where he's going. And I think it's going to be the Warriors because of what Draymond Green did, opting out of his contract. He sends out the bat signal. And with all this stuff about tampering, I think it's a little bit of a dog and pony show. I think the stuff with Rich Paul and the whiteboard, Pablo, I think a little of that is performative. I think they're just waiting out. LeBron James is one step ahead of everybody, probably even 2 and 3 steps. I think he knows where he's going. I think it's already been decided. My guess is that it's the Warriors.
So here's the thing about the Warriors, right? I think the Sixers are the most interesting story for the reasons I said.
Yep,
in terms
you're
of
right about
box
that.
office, here's the box office case for the Warriors. Him and Steph Curry, period.
Yeah.
Right? That is from a pure, just like, can the superheroes of this league come together? And they, by the way, Frank, you know this, you've seen it. They've been man-crushing on each other for a very, very long time. Steph and LeBron, the idea of the two of them together, right? Draymond being the first sort of signal there. I think that is something that smells like a giant A1 leading every story, leading every show in the world for as long as they want to do that. That would be the case for Golden State.
And remember something else too. Mike Gandy, who LeBron's known for a long time, you know, going all the way back to high school basketball in Cleveland or in Ohio, he's the GM of the Sixers. Bob Myers is now the kind of in charge of everything. And once again, for LeBron, I think it comes down to trust. He wants to know he'd have a good chance, and that's why Philadelphia does have a chance here. And I think it would be a good move. I still think ultimately it'd be the Warriors.
Yeah, I remember Mike Gansey playing with Kevin Pittsnogle.
Nice.
Right? That's how old
West
I am.
Virginia. Nice.
Getting Pittsnogled. I want to move to the World Cup because Croatia, they got Pittsnogled in a sense.
Yeah.
They got kicked out of this thing by a hair. Croatia had appeared to tie Portugal at 2 in the final seconds of stoppage time. But VAR, it ruled that Croatia's cross had brushed the coif of Igor Matanovic. I'm struggling through the French, which meant Mario Pasalic was offside and the goal got waved off. And so, Frank, your feeling about this dramatic goal getting overturned is what?
Yeah, what's the expression they use all the time with soccer and in Europe? Gutted. You felt gutted for Croatia for the way that it ended. I felt it should have been a tying goal. Then chances are you're going to extra time with, by the way, with Ronaldo on the bench. You're a big technology guy. You always want robots. And I like VAR to a certain extent. But Pablo, here's the problem with it. You know, when you watch it on replay, it does not look like it touches his hair at all. But they have a sensor in the ball, and according to the sensor, there was what they call like a heartbeat or some kind of skip, and that's what it's being ruled on. So when you watch it with the naked eye, and Fox had a great camera angle from behind the goal, it looks like it does not touch the offensive player. Looks like it comes off the back of the Portuguese defender. That goal should have stood, and you think about the spirit of the rule, and that really took the life out of everybody, and I felt bad for Luka Modric, a legendary player. That was his last ever World Cup game, maybe his last ever game.
Right. I am a bit tortured given my historical takes about technology solving the problems that afflict sports. The trade-off is, of course, between accuracy and entertainment. Yeah. And as I've gotten older, Frank, as I've done more and more of these shows and watched more and more of these games, I do realize that the spirit of the law does matter. And the nightmare for me as a fan watching that game is technology should not take the game out of the hands of the players.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? And so VAR, they have a rule built in that ostensibly does account for this. It is the clear and obvious, quote unquote, language, right?
Yeah.
Was it clear and was it obvious? And the referee ostensibly gets to choose and say, you know what, we're going to let this one stand because, by the way, we would have gone to extra time. And Luka Modric and that entire diaspora of Croatia, they would have said, you know what, at the very least, we'll settle this on the field. And that, to me, is the heartbreaker. I hated it because it was not clear, it was not obvious, and I get the value of technology, but I'd rather see the players figure it out as opposed to short-circuiting what has been yet another incredible match in the most incredible tournament that I can remember watching in this World Cup.
You know, Ronaldo, after the game, who played with Luka Modric, they played in the same club team at Real Madrid. He called him a football legend. And, you know, you think about that Croatian team, you know, in 2018, they're runner-up to France. 4 years ago, they're third place. They're not loaded with superstars, but it's such a great, you know, gritty team that